Oh, hi. Remember that video Carol did a couple days ago where she cut down the special projects? You know, you watched that video, right? Well, it's time to glue them up. So first, let's get set up. That's better. Like most other projects, workflow is important. It might vary time to time. This is basically how I set up. I like to have blanks I need gluing. And when you saw Carol cut them down, you notice that she tries to keep them in size order. I will try to keep the blanks on the correct trays that they're on and keep the sizes together so that when she puts them back, she has a half idea of where they're going to go. And I got my work area, and I'm going to glue, and I'm going to put them right there. Let's get you a better view. There we go. I hope that's a little bit better for you. Okay, I'm going to start out. Well, first my toolkit. I use two-part epoxy. I use this 30-minute because I like the slow work time. Usually I have stacks of trays. I'll have 3 or 4 of these trays to do and a lot of blanks. This is a very short tray. This won't take any time at all. I'll probably fast forward through a lot of it. But essentially I like the 30-minute epoxy, and I also use Alumilite white pigment. And I dye my epoxy with just a drop of this so that it matches the white tube. So on see-through blanks, you don't see the yellowish epoxy, you get more of a white. I use toothpicks. I have a bunch out. I try wearing gloves to do this, but it's just impossible to work in them. So you're going to get nasty. So I use denatured alcohol, and I've already got a towel pre-soaked. I'll even put a little more in there. And I don't care about the desk. It's a work desk. So, I mean, it can sit there. This is a tool that they sell in Penn State, and probably other vendors. But you use this to push the tubes. And also, if you have a tube that's stuck, you can use it to catch the edge and push a tube out. It's heavy duty. I don't always use it. I tend to just more use toothpicks. I think that's about it. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, I don't mix a whole lot at one time, even though it's 30-minute work time. That 30 minutes goes quick, and I kind of dispute that you got the full 30 minutes. A little bit more of the part A. If contrary to what you would think, if you're going to short something, you want to go short on the hardener. Too much hardener and it gets gummy. It doesn't want to set up. We'll shake this up real good. Now this is the tricky part because you only want a drop. You don't want a heck of a lot. Okay, take my toothpick. And again, this is how I do it. This isn't rocket science. I mean, it's mixing epoxy. Some people like Post-it notes. Some people use even masking tape. And put a piece of masking tape and mix the epoxy on that. I like these paper plates. It's actually a plastic plate. And I like it because I could do 3 rounds generally on a piece of, on a single plate. And then I've got a few in my stack here in case I need more, which I won't today. Now, a lot of people will put wax or even potato chunks or whatever. I don't bother with that. I don't have any problem getting epoxy in the ends for whatever reason. And I just basically slather it all with the toothpick and then roll and get a good coat. And then I use a clean toothpick, push it down in there. And I want to get it pretty much centered. Then I'll just take this and wipe off. And there's one. Again, you just slather. twist it, work that epoxy around. And then just take off the excess. There again, see, I want to get that down inside the hole. And check both ends. You don't want it sticking out. You want to have plenty to work with on either side when you take this back down. I'm probably going to shut up right now and just glue, and I'll probably do this in 4 times speed because you don't want to sit here and watch this whole tray. Stick around though. I have a fun, exciting new project after I'm done with this tray we can do together. Something I've never done before. Alright, so I'm back. You see that green dust from that one blank poured out into my epoxy. That wasn't good. Okay. Cleaned up my station a little bit. Let's get rid of this top plate. I want this out of here. Alright, start with a fresh plate. And here is what we have. This is something new to us. Celtic knot inlay kits. And essentially they're carved out basswood. I did not glue these tubes. These are for Celtic twist pens. We took the tubes out of the kits. So you supply your own kit. Has to be Celtic twist pen. And then they supply this. And then they supply a packet of green Pearl-Ex, spring green I think it is. As a matter of fact, I will insert a still picture right here. Of my casting center. I do dabble in it. And spring green. I have extra if I need it. So first thing I need to do is actually CA these tubes into this basewood. And for that, I'm going to use a little medium CA. And I took them out just to stick them back in, but I wanted to show you what I'm doing here. And then I'll center it as best I can in here. And now what I'm going to do is all of these holes are going to be filled with epoxy. So it doesn't matter if I get a little CA down in here. So I'm just going to put a little dab down there, a little dab there, a little bit there, and why not, a little bit right there. And then hopefully that'll seep in below the surface. Yeah, let me put it on my towel there. And I'm actually going to go ahead and let these dry for a few minutes. So I'm going to cut the video. Yeah, I guess I might as well cut it right about here. Alright, so I went and CA'd all three of these tubes in. And I sprayed some accelerator in there to let it cure. It's still a little bit damp. It's not going to matter that there's CA on the bottom because I'm going to fill these with epoxy anyway. And then when I turn it, it's going to naturally turn it down. So it doesn't matter that the CA is down underneath. Now, I got 3 blanks. I got 3 of these bags. They want you to split this into thirds so that you have plenty of work time. And it's not necessarily a bad idea. Same as, what do you use to scoop it in? I have popsicle sticks. I think I'm going to start with toothpicks though. I'm going to try toothpicks. So let's just go ahead and mix some up and see what we got. Mix up a good little amount here. And again, this is the first one for me. Probably, if I was smart, I would actually use this out of my container. So I would have a little more control over what I'm putting in. But a little bit more. Yeah, let's try that. The thing is, if you're not consistent, your color shade might be off on all of them. So, not really sure how to remain consistent. It's got a yellowish tinge to it I'm not happy with. Let me dump some more in. I think I'm going to actually go to, oh, I spilled a bunch. Oh well. See, I got way too much now. Too rich. So let's do this. Let's add a little bit more. Yes, I'm making it up as I go along. Sometimes you just got to do it that way. And I guess as far as color match, I'm just going to eyeball it. Now they say, they being a bunch of casters that I watch, namely one in particular, which I'm not going to mention by name, but he's a very good caster. He's actually kind of the guy I learned everything from. And one of our vendors, as a matter of fact. But they say that the The dyes like this, you can add too much and you lose the properties on your epoxy or your Alumilite or whatever. But they say these mica powders, you can just add as much as you want. It's not going to hurt anything. So I don't know that. I'm not a caster. Let's go ahead and start filling in a base layer just to see what we got. Now the instructions suggest doing this in thirds, which is why they say split it into 3 parts. It does not wrap all the way around the tube, so I'm starting with the top middle. And I'm just trying to squeeze in what I can. Use the side of the plate to wipe on. I don't know. I think I'm going to go for broke here. As this epoxy starts thickening up, it'll actually stay in the holes a lot better too. And again, I'm not worried about lumping it on the outside because it will be turned off. What I am worried about is trying to bring it to the surface level. All right, what a mess that was, huh? So I think what the program's going to be, I'm trying to, like I said, making this up as I go. I think I'm going to let it dry, see what sticks in the holes, and then come back for coat number 2. I didn't even use this full packet. I've still got some left, and I was mixing it heavy. You can see how heavy I was mixing it. I'm not so much worried about color match now, though, because it's coming out basically the same. So I think we're good there. So whatever I have left, I guess I'll dump back into my container. Maybe as we work toward the surface, I actually used my container and tried to measure it out a little bit more evenly for some consistency, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it right here and jump back in when that's dry. Well, I made a mess out of that. Oh, I'm stuck to the plate. I can't even lift it. I was on a paper towel and got paper towel stuck all over it. Now it's stuck on a paper plate. So the new plan's going to be, I'm going to let this epoxy cure and I'm going to take it out to the lathe. I'm either going to sand it or turn it down to the base wood. And then go ahead and put another coat on there and fill it to the surface. Make sure I'm like overflowing. But I'm not going to hold this video up for that. I'm going to have to let this sit for, probably 2-3 days until I get back to this. So I'm going to go ahead and post this. And just know that in the future, I will be fixing this mess. I say it's a mess. It actually is turning out pretty good. I'm quite happy with it. Again, it's the first time I've done this. You live and learn. I should have put these on my little nail block and set them upright to dry. But I think it's turning out pretty good. One more coat on all three of these. And I'll probably just mix a nice big coat. I can't talk. I'm tired. It's been a long day. Mix a big lot of epoxy and do it all at once. Anyway, there it is. Live and learn.